Attention now to the main event. Young Fernando Vargas getting ready to defend his title against Ronald Winky Wright. Larry, when it all began a couple of years ago for Vargas, coming off of his ingenue performance as an Olympian in 1996, you said that among all of the young fighters coming into the sport from that class of 96, Vargas is the one in which you would have wanted to buy stock. Given the major problem he's now facing outside the ring, would that have been a bad investment?
Think Microsoft. Trouble with the law, still a great company.
Gotcha.
Also think of a young entrepreneur coming up with a brilliant new software application just about ready to go public. That's Fernando Vargas. Aside from his talent as a fighter, he gives us the musky odor of some intense need and ambition to succeed, and he has the looks to go with it. If you saw him coming down the street dressed casually, you probably would say that must be a prize fighter. What we're going to find out tonight and in his next fight, which if he wins tonight would be against Ike Corte, is how good a fighter he is.
But he is, as you say, facing the felony assault charge outside the ring. He's got a hearing coming up a little bit later on, which he's certainly looking forward to with great expectation, hoping that he can get his problem cleared up. That's bound to be a huge distraction as he comes in against Wright. Sometimes when a fighter's in that situation, particularly a knockout puncher like Vargas, he tends to go for a knockout early. Isn't Wright, with his style, exactly the kind of fighter who might be able to take advantage of that?
Vargas is the type of athlete who would use a problem, use adversity to make an opportunity for himself, to make a statement about himself. But whether he's overeager or whether he's patient, Winky Wright can be a problem for him. He's the kind of slick southpaw who gives nightmares to trainers and managers and promoters. He's fought all over the world. He's a real veteran. He knows how to fight. Maybe he's the right opponent for our champion Vargas, or maybe Winky Wright is the wrong opponent for him.
All right, we're about to find out as Fernando Vargas puts his 17-win, 17 knockout record on the line. Here's the tail of the tape. You see the 7-year age advantage for Vargas. Gives up a half-inch in height to Winky Wright. Has the 2-inch reach advantage. They both weighed in at 154. Fernando must be in pretty good shape, putting on only 6 pounds between the weigh-in and now. Wright putting on 10 pounds to go up to 164. Rules of the bout with Harold Letterman.
The ferocious Fernando Vargas Winky Wright fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold, and let's welcome Ronald Winky Wright from St. Petersburg, Florida. First appearance here on HBO for a world-traveling fighter who has spent his career trying to make his mark all over the globe and has scant opportunities up to now to fight in the United States.
The mandatory challenge originally was invented for fighters like Winky Wright, who don't have the kind of following that can give him leverage in negotiations, but who have a high skill level that eventually, with patience and diligence, would earn them a shot at a title.
Closer look at the challenger.
He has never ever fought in his hometown of St. Petersburg, 20 times abroad and in St. Petersburg. His buddies are a couple of baseball stars named Dwight Gooden and Gary Sheffield.
How did a fighter get a nickname like Winky?
His grandma gave it to him when he was 18 months old. That was before he started to be a fighter.
He wasn't a fighter then.
No.
He was a baby.
Although I guess he used his left hand with his rattle.
And now we get ready for a new wrinkle in the Fernando Vargas act, as Vargas has decided to add to his ring entrance the showbiz element of wild animals. What animals, Larry?
Well, let's just say I think we're going to see the princing of America, or at least of boxing, with an entrance that Vargas dreamed up himself, paid for himself.
Vargas's people are already in the ring. His trainer, Eduardo Garcia, his co-trainer, Roger Bloodworth, already there, and now here comes the Vargas entrance. Where's the fighter?
What is this? Ferocious Vargas and his ferocious big cats. Not to be confused with my cats.
Incidentally, we've been talking about Roberto Garcia, beaten by Diego Corrales 6 weeks ago, surrendering his 130-pound world crown. That's Garcia, Fernando Vargas' childhood buddy, holding up Vargas' championship belt.
Well, there's a two-handed cage animal, Fernando Vargas. This is an expression of a fighter who has the nerve to put himself out there on the line. Or as Muhammad Ali would say, who dares to be great.
Here's the fallacy, though. The nature of this arena is such that practically nobody here can see Fernando. Without television monitors, there's almost nobody in the arena who can see Fernando or who has a clue what he's doing.
Fight managers used to say the fighter was their tiger. I guess Fernando Vargas has taken that literally.
Meanwhile, there are a few thousand people here who are so far totally unaware that there's a tiger in a cage in one corner of the arena. And the other new wrinkle is that Fernando shaved his head for the first time. There's a closer look
at Vargas, who was the youngest international amateur champion at 16, our youngest Olympian in 1996, and is now the youngest manager. A few days before his 26th birthday, he has taken 2 fighters under his wing.
They're ready. Let's go up to ring announcer Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Chinook Winds Casino in Lincoln City, Oregon, main events in association with HBO Sports, Ringside Tickets Incorporated, and Miller Lite presents the HBO Boxing After Dark main event of the evening, Commotion at the Ocean. 12 rounds for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship of the world. Your judges at ringside are from Homedale, New Jersey, Deborah Barnes, from Dubuque, Iowa, Dave Hess, and from Eugene, Oregon, Jim Howard. Your referee for this event from Las Vegas, Nevada, working his 125th World Championship fight, El Caballero, Joe Cortez. Introducing now the principals first in the blue corner to my left, wearing the black trunks with the white accessories. He weighs in at 154 pounds. His professional record reads 39 victories, 2 defeats, and 24 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from St. Petersburg, Florida, the former WBO junior middleweight champion and the challenger, Ronald Winky Wright. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the white leopard-style trunks with black trim. He weighs in at 154 pounds. He is undefeated in 17 professional bouts, all 17 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Oxnard, California, the youngest ever junior middleweight champion of the world, ferocious Fernando Vargas. 12 rounds for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship of the world.
We love you. We all love you.
All right, Fernando, Winky. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room, and I expect a good, clean fight. This is for the IBF Championship of the world. I want good sportsmanlike conduct. Understood? Understood here? Yeah. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Understand? All right, touch him out.
Just when you think you've seen everything, it turns out you ain't seen nothing yet. What are we going to see now?
Oregon authorities choosing to bring in veteran Joe Cortez to referee this one. Cortez now a regular, of course, in the state of Nevada after having moved there from New Jersey a few years ago. Vargas usually starts tactically, builds from a slow pace, trying to find his opportunities to land power punches as the fight goes on.
Right, going right at him.
Winky Wright, in one of his better efforts a couple of years ago against Bronco McCart, threw 48 jabs per round. So you expect that Winky will try to get the right jab going and control the early action with it. Vargas insists he has no technical problems with southpaws, pointing to his experiences against Raul Marquez.
He said that if he could hit Pernell Whitaker in the gym when he sparred with him, he suspects he could hit right. He hits him right there with a left hand.
And a right uppercut that followed behind it. First big combination of the bout for Vargas. Vargas to the body. One thing he promised was rough body punching of the kind he says Wright has never tasted. Wright blocking that right hand lead with his gloves. Already there's an abrasion beside the right eye of Ronald Winky Wright. He insisted to us that he'd never been cut. Vargas with the uppercut. Second one was blocked, first one landed. Crowd chanting Vargas, Vargas, Vargas. Left hook to the body. Wright comes back with his own right hook to the body. Uppercut by Wright. They're trading shots from close range from time to time. Vargas regarded as the more authoritative puncher. It's a vicious right uppercut to the middle of the midsection by Vargas.
Southpaws usually don't fight this aggressively, but Winky Wright has fought abroad so many times that he knows he has to fight aggressively to get decisions. And he is fighting toe-to-toe with Vargas.
Interesting choice by Wright. A lot of us thought he might try to be more elusive. You see Vargas busting his left jab right through the middle of Wright's guard. A mark of Fernando's strength. But Wright, well balanced, looking confident, able to make his jab work from time to time in round one.
Cuídalo mucho. Se va a cansar el cabrón.
In Vargas's corner, where Eduardo Garcia speaks Spanish, our interpreter is Ray Torres.
All right, you're working real beautiful. You gotta hit him with that straight right hand. You fake with that left and then you hit him with the right hand. You're working beautifully. You calculate him.
Bang. Step to the side, okay? You out-hustle him in that first round. You out-hustle him in that first round.
Breaking your body. Good round, good round.
Good round. When you're inside, block, look for that opening. Give in combinations, okay?
Vargas showing that although he is young, he doesn't fight young. Going to the body when the opportunity presents itself.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Vargas 15 out of 44, Wright 10 out of 46. You heard Wright's trainer, Dan Birmingham, who has guided his career ever since the beginning of his amateur days, telling Wright that he thought he had beaten Vargas to the punch in round number one. Winky Wright not scared to trade in close quarters with Fernando Vargas.
And returning the fire to the body.
Chopping right hand across the top by Wright. Vargas manages to land a left hook.
And they're landing some heavy stuff here.
Wright with a right hand right on the jaw of Vargas.
They're testing each other right here. And Winky Wright is making a statement that you're not going to drive me off. You're not going to take the initiative against me. He is really making a bold statement against Fernandez.
Absolutely. Vargas trying to land to the right hand of the body. Wright with that broad, well-balanced base, firing his jab and trying to back Vargas up. Even Yori Boy Campos couldn't back Vargas up. And here comes Vargas moving forward with the body shots again.
Wright with his hands held high, yet still throwing enough punches.
Landing at a pretty accurate rate, or so it would seem in this round. But if Vargas expected Wright to...
Four-punch combination by Vargas, each punch landed.
If Vargas expected Wright to go side to side, back up, and try to be elusive against him, he must be surprised to see what he's facing here.
Sparring with Pernell Whitaker will not prepare you for this.
No way. On the other hand, if you had told Vargas before the fight that Wright would do this, I'm sure Fernando would have said, great, bring it on. I want him to come to me. Still, Wright seems to have thrown him back just a little bit with the unexpectedness of this tactic. And there's a hard right hand landed off the front foot by Winky Wright. Vargas a little bit low with the body punch. Joe Cortez let him get by with it. Uppercut by Wright, hard right hand to the body. Vargas partially blocked across the top with the right hand lead. Another vicious right to the body by Vargas. Wright answers with the same thing. It's a fight in there as round two comes to a close.
You're standing too much in front of him. I want your boxing. Don't try to prove no point. I want your boxing on them toes. Don't stand still. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Relax. Put your win. Don't think about nothing. Want the fight. I want you feinting, jabbing, moving. You're laying inside too much, all right? We don't want this guy to score, man.
Muévase, tiene mucha pierna usted. Bien vivo, Fernando. Vivo. Ahí lo vamos a llevar al pasito. Vamos a poner presión ahorita de unos dos rounds.
Here's Wright now going to the body. Good shot to the ribs. Later in the round, Vargas, a left, a right, another left. Now you heard in the corner of Wright, they were telling him, don't try to prove any point, start to box him.
Yeah, Dan Birmingham, his trainer, obviously as surprised as we are to have seen Wright standing in front of Vargas in that round. Nevertheless, on Letterman's card at 1 in the round, you might have seen the CompuBox numbers that had him throwing a couple punches more and landing 6 punches more than did Vargas. So numerically, at least, round 2 looked like a good one for Wright. But his trainer, Dan Birmingham, said, I want you to box. And still, Wright comes out and stands in front of Vargas and trades. Good combination by Wright there. Vargas unable to get off.
This seems a little out of character for Wright. You wonder if he can sustain it.
Meanwhile, my suggestion that Vargas might come in impatient for the knockout goes by the boards as he starts out with cautious patience and tactical thinking, as has been the case throughout his career.
He says, I train scared. No matter who his opponent is, he trains as though he's going to be fighting Ray Robinson.
They trade shots to the body again. Round 3 has so far been a tactical affair. Not a lot of leather landed on either side. Now Wright trying to step in and take the initiative again. Vargas comes back with a right to the body. Wright misses with a swinging right hook. Triple uppercut by Vargas.
The Wright is right back on top of him.
Oh, watch your heads inside, guys. Watch your heads. Let's go.
Cortez, mindful of the southpaw versus conventional fighter confrontation, warning both fighters to watch their heads.
This is a very, very fast-paced fight early on.
Uppercut landed for Vargas, snapped Wright's head back. Wright misses with the chopping left, comes back with a right hook. Vargas with a straight right up the middle. Wright returns the favor.
Right now, we see Vargas has been investing more in a body attack, and now he goes to the head.
And Wright trying to answer every thunderous Vargas shot with one of his own. It's becoming a slugfest as they come down the stretch of round 3. Minor swelling outside the right eye of Vargas. Vargas trying to use those uppercuts to bust Wright out of his defense. Doubleheader on Boxing After Dark. You meet our second round card girl, Brooke Morales of Agoura Hills, California. She does her modeling mostly in the fitness-related area. And I think you can see why, Larry. She's very fit.
Almost as fit as these two fighters right now.
This round.
Water. Beautiful
water.
Relax.
Breathe. 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 Excellent boxing. Keep it up.
He's cut already.
You stop dead in front of him for about 5 seconds. I don't want you doing that. Come on, move.
Watch Vargas's left foot standing right on Wright's right foot and landing those punches. It's inadvertent, it's not unusual when a conventional fighter fights a fighter of the southpaw persuasion.
So Winky Wright, who beat Bronco McCart on the strength of throwing 40 to 50 jabs per round, in round 3 throws 72 punches against Vargas, only 25 of them jabs, 47 power shots. Vargas landed 24 out of 67. Interesting, though, that they're fighting a tough, aggressive inside fight, and it's Wright who's choosing to make it that way. Right hand lead for Vargas. And they're swelling under the left eye of Fernando Vargas. And Vargas begins to fight with a greater sense of urgency, firing those uppercuts and coming back with hooks. Right Vargas momentarily backs right up. Winky gets on the move and comes straight back inside again. Wright lands an uppercut. Comes back with a right hook. Vargas's left eye swelling precipitously as this round goes by. And there's a vicious right hand by Vargas.
Vargas is landing the cleaner hard blows, but Wright is right with him. He's very busy and piling up points.
And Cortez allows Wright to twice whack Vargas on the hip. That's something that can immobilize a fighter over the course of a bout. Straight right hands up the middle, starting to do big damage for Vargas in this round. And another right cross and a left hook to the body. And now Fernando begins to land 3 and 4 punches at a time. And Wright's strategy of standing close to Vargas and trading begins to look a little hollow.
Vargas is just tearing him up inside. Wright is in amazing condition to take this kind of punishment. He's been a pro for 9 years, has always been a junior middleweight, which speaks well of his conditioning and his will, and he's traveled all over the world to fight, and he is really taking some murderous body punches here.
But the big power difference in Vargas's favor begins to show up here in the 4th round as he repeatedly rips Wright with power shots in close combinations, left hook, right cross, straight right hand leads, uppercuts, body shots. The last minute of the round, a big Vargas punching display.
Ya se cansó, Fernando es todo, ¿verdad? Agua.
Okay, let's give him some water. He's tired already. The other guy's tired.
Yo, man. Body shots will kill me, baby. You gotta step around it.
You all right?
Stay in front of me.
You okay?
Es todo lo que está allá.
That's all he had. He's yours now.
El suyo es el que lo allá.
That's all he's got.
Tiene que estar
His shot is low.
muy vivo todavía, ¿eh?
Okay. Come on, you're winning this fight. Box, jab. Look for that straight left hand sometimes, too. Good jab, straight left hand.
Here they are in slow motion. A good left hook by Vargas. Can Wright sustain this pace? Does he have to start boxing more, as his corner is urging him to do?
But after the body shots he's taken from Vargas, can he box more? That'll be part of the question as the fight progresses. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 4?
Hey, Jim, before I give my score, where's the Tiger? I got it 2-2, 38-38. I got it all even. Jim, I'm going to tell you something. I thought Winky Wright stood right in there, stayed in Vargas' face, and won rounds 2 and 3 clearly. But Fernando came back with that big 4th round. This is a great slugging match, toe-to-toe. It's just a matter of who gets in more clean shots. Vargas looking very strong to this point.
I have Vargas 3 rounds to 1, but I agree with Harold that 3rd round could have gone to Wright.
And with regard to the Tiger comment, Harold, producer Dave Harmon points out, dying's easy, comedy's hard. Round 5. Fernando Vargas trying to bust through Winky Wright's guard with power punches again. Now there is a low blow for which Cortez elects to stop the action for a moment and warn Vargas. Winky Wright continues his strategy of backing Vargas up, staying right in front of Fernando, and trading with him. Doing much better with that so far in the fight than most of us would have suspected could be the case. But it's a dangerous strategy. How long can he live with it? With his corner asking him to box and move. Wright sticking his right hand into Vargas's face twice as Fernando tries to mount the attack again. Body, body, body. Fernando trying to take Wright's legs away.
It's amazing that a fighter of Wright's caliber could materialize from St. Petersburg, Florida, where there hasn't been any professional prize fight.
9 years as a professional, 39 wins, 2 losses, 24 KOs. The only 2 losses to Harry Simon and Julio Cesar Vasquez. 9 years ago in the Olympic Festival in 1990, Wright won the title in the 139-pound weight class, beating the illustrious Stevie Johnston. World champion now at 135 pounds. So he's been in against quality plenty of times before. 10 seconds to go in the 5th round, and Winky Wright has regained some of the momentum he had lost in a vicious 4th round against Vargas. Next Wednesday, we invite you to tune in for the HBO documentary Unitas. You'll learn how number 19, Johnny Unitas, became a football icon and a hero to an entire generation. Unitas, coming Wednesday, December 8th. Larry, I can't wait to see it. When I was a kid in Hendersonville, North Carolina, this was the only NFL team that was showcased in my area. So I watched Johnny Unitas every Sunday when I was growing up. Chuck Thompson calling the games. National Beer was the advertiser. They were the Baltimore Colts. Remember that?
I remember well. I used to go to cover the Colts games down at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore.
Looking great out there.
Partly to see Johnny Unitas and partly to eat the crab cakes in the press room.
And to watch the great Lenny Moore, another tremendous player on that team. Jim Mutzler, Ray Berry. Watch that Unitas special, it should be great. Jabs in round 5. Winky Wright throwing 36 and landing 15 of them. So the 5th was a much more Winky Wright type round. But nevertheless, Letterman, seduced by the Vargas power punching, gives it to Fernando. But Wright delivering more of what we expected would have been the game plan in the 5th round. Now they're swelling around both of Winky Wright's eyes. They're swelling under both of Fernando Vargas's eyes. And well, there should be with the kind of leather they've been trading in this one.
In nature, tigers may not have any natural enemies, but in the ring they do.
What would you have said if I had told you last week, Larry, Winky Wright is going to back Fernando Vargas up round after round?
I probably would have said it's a suicide mission.
But he's doing reasonably well with it as we approach the midway point of the bout. Wright coming back with a combination as Vargas throws the 1 right-hand lead. Wright beginning and finishing the action in the exchanges here in the 6th. What a professional effort so far by the previously little-known Ronald Winky Wright. As you said, Larry, this is the kind of guy mandatory challenges were made for.
Right. And I also said that this is not the kind of guy that young titleists would fight if they had a choice.
So Fernando Vargas getting a stiff test so far as we approach the halfway point of this scheduled 12-round, 154-pound title defense for Vargas, who has 17 knockouts and 17 fights coming in. He was so happy when his previous title defense against Raul Marquez went all the way to the 11th before he got the TKO. And he said, maybe people will understand now that I don't train just to fight 6 rounds. Hard left hand by Winky Wright. Vargas taking more hard punches from Winky Wright than he took from the much more well-known Marquez or Yori Boy Campos in his title-winning effort a year ago. Halfway through, and it's anyone's fight.
round, baby.
Beautiful. He can't get by this jab. He can't get by this jab.
Vargas's mom, Marta, looking fairly concerned over there and urging her fighter and her son.
Here's Wright, effective with his jab. Follows with a short, crisp left hand.
Wright throwing. Go ahead.
Well-schooled, well-conditioned fighter.
Excellent. Look at how even those numbers are through round 6. Anyone's fight. Wright with tiny edges there statistically in the fight. Now Vargas hoping to respond to his mother's exhortations. Come out with a big 7. The Letterman card, even through 6. Blistering action bout we've become accustomed to having in the 3 years of the Boxing After Dark telecast. Almost 4 years now.
Vargas very satisfied to be the counter-puncher here and being particularly effective in the first minute of this round.
Interesting challenge, interesting kind of fight for Fernando Vargas. Just with a hard right hand. Wright, seemingly momentarily stunned by the right, now gets back into his posture and goes back to trying to lead rather than follow. Vargas takes a right hand from Wright and another looping right over the top. Winky Wright said coming in that he thought there were holes in Vargas's defense, and he has found them, landing repeatedly against the more celebrated fighters. Hard right hand by Vargas lands flush. Back to the body, 1, 2, 3 times. This is the kind of fight which further underlines Fernando Vargas's image as a throwback, an old-time fighter. As you said, Larry, like something out of a 30s movie.
Yeah, you don't want to see a young fighter get into too many of these wars. Just be 22 on next Tuesday, and he is in a war now, and it's a war for survival.
Winky Wright stunning Fernando Vargas with his ability to stand toe-to-toe and trade with him, giving as good as he's getting. Still anybody's fight.
Everybody stay calm. Take a drink. Use that jab. Use the jab and he bends over. Right uppercut, left hook. Step around this man a little bit. And when you're on the outside, breathe.
You gotta move. Don't stay in front of him. You gotta move.
He can't fight back.
All
right, get the rag
Hold him still.
Get the rag off.
Get the rag off from his heart.
I got some, thank you. Let me look.
Come on. I want it.
Okay.
Okay. All
right, seconds out.
Come on. Come on.
Vargas has never gone 12 rounds. Stopped all 17 of his opponents up to now. At the very least, both of those records are in jeopardy.
In round 7, CompuBox numbers, Vargas 25 out of 77, Wright 19 out of 61 of 44 connects. Between the two fighters, only 5 of them were jabs. It's a power-punching extravaganza. Not exactly what we expected. Winky Wright, from round 1 to round 7, simply hasn't boxed as much as you thought he might, and has slugged a lot more than you thought he might, and has done well with it. Straight right hands, up the middle by Vargas. Wright still stalking, backing Vargas up, round after round. Vargas content to counter, as Larry pointed out. And once again getting comfortable with it. Wright's punches making contact. Vargas's punches doing more damage. Vargas fans in the crowd nervous. Not having heard much about Winky Wright, they might have expected their man to score one of his patented easy knockouts by now. Vicious right hand to the body by Vargas. Wright snaps Vargas's head back with a counter right hand of his own. Vargas back with a 1-2-3.
Ike Corte has come over from Ghana to watch this fight, hoping to fight Vargas in his next fight. I'm sure he is wondering what's going on here.
Let it go, please, step back.
As well as trying to go to school on how Wright is fighting Vargas.
Duarte with his brilliant jab would make a fascinating matchup against the power-punching Vargas. But who knows? Maybe by the end of the evening this title belongs to Winky Wright. It's not out of the question.
Relax. Let your hands go. Start hitting that body and come up to their head. And let these rounds slip away. Okay? Gut check time, baby. Snip. You got a fast jab in here.
Use mucha inteligencia, usted es inteligente.
You gotta use a lot of intelligence to get in there.
Usted tenga mucha cintura para que no lo deje.
Do it for the family, but do it. Let's make the fight easy. Don't let him get lucky. Don't let him get lucky. Nice rhythm. Box this guy, okay? Keep the feint working the jab. Jab, jab. Come on.
Fascinating fight, action fight, round 8, another in which Winky Wright threw and landed more punches. Harold Letterman.
Hold time. Give me a towel. Give me a towel. Get it out, corner.
As Joe Cortez wipes the ring dry, how do you have it scored?
Okay, Jim. 77-75. 5 rounds to 3. Ronald Winky Wright. Jim, I'll tell you something. I think the challenger, Winky Wright, has just walked through Fernando Vargas in rounds 6, 7, and 8. He takes Fernando's best shots. He gets off first, and he walks him down. He takes it right to him. The effective aggressor and getting into better shots. Fernando has got to come forward and just take the pressure away. Winky Wright walking right through him.
Larry, how do you have it?
I have Vargas ahead slightly.
Meanwhile, as you heard Vargas's co-trainer, Roger Bloodworth, say gut check time, we could not help but reflect on the fact that 2 weeks ago, Bloodworth saw gut check time for Andrew Galata, his heavyweight, and when they checked, they found no gut.
Well, they're not going to have that problem here. What they have a problem with here is that Winky Wright has just fought a wonderful fight, is seizing this opportunity and doing everything possible with it. Who is the famed animal trainer, Frank Buck? Right now, he is doing some training on Fernando Vargas.
In the modern era, the famed animal trainers are Siegfried and Roy. Slightly different than Frank Buck. Marlon Perkins. Jack Hanna. Vargas trying to train Winky Wright, so far without great success. Minutes to go in round 9. Fernando gets a chance to double up the uppercut and does so. Misses with the left hook over the top. Wright, despite continued swelling around both eyes, knocks Vargas' mouthpiece out with a straight left hand. Fernando says, come on. Wright, smiling, sticks his right hand into Vargas' unprotected mouth. Fernando comes back with a counter right of his own, and Cortez stops the action there. Interesting. Cortez is supposed to wait for a lull in the action. That was at best a brief lull. It must have felt like a rude awakening for Fernando Vargas to feel that mouthpiece fly out of the ring. Well, 2 weeks ago, we saw Michael Grant in danger of losing his much celebrated status as the supposed heir apparent in the heavyweight division. And Grant, trailing so badly on the scorecards going to the 10th that he would have lost the fight if it had been completed, knocked out Andrew Galana. Now it appears Vargas may be facing almost as difficult a problem. Can he produce the kind of heart-stopping performance that Grant did? 3 rounds to go.
Get the tape right here.
Come on, walk water. You got it. Relax. I got some more.
Relax. It's all right. If you want the tape, you can stop it if we're not ready. All right, relax. Come on. Wait, you're winning this fight big. You're in the 10th round now. You got a 3-round amateur fight, okay? Remember, just like before.
Take it to him with the jab. Use your intelligence. Right?
How do you feel?
Remember, the 1-2, step up and touch him with something else. And stay out of the corners and off the ropes.
You gotta throw some combinations and be fast. You gotta throw a lot of punches. And not so strong, hard, but
There's a left
fast.
hand that
You gotta be fast.
deposited the mouthpiece of Vargas on the canvas.
And you heard the rising urgency in Vargas's corner. The rising urgency in the voice of our interpreter, Ray Torres, as he repeated Eduardo Garcia's comments. You got to throw a lot of combinations. You got to throw them fast. You've got to go out and throw a lot of punches. So they want to see a less measured, more frenzied effort now from Fernando Vargas as he goes into the last 3 rounds of the fight, perhaps trailing on the scorecard. Certainly, if Letterman's scorecard is a guide, he's in danger. Down 3 points on Harold's card. Vargas going to work on the body, trying to put punches together. Winky Wright standing in front of him, and you heard Wright's trainer, Dan Birmingham, say, 3-round amateur fight. You've been through this before. As the Vargas fans chant their man's name, Wright's fans chant Winky, Winky, Winky. Eduardo Garcia wants to see. Multi-punch combination by Vargas, most of them landing.
Winky Wright has only been stopped once in his long career. A good South American fighter who later won a title, Vasquez. And you can see why right here.
Vasquez was credited with 5 knockdowns against Wright. But Wright said no, 3 of them were slips. And the 2 knockdowns were as much from exhaustion as anything. Certainly Vargas is a hard puncher and has not been able to come close to putting Wright down.
But he's mounting a rally here, and he's going to have to fight the next 2 rounds just like this.
Wright beginning to hold a little bit more than in the early rounds as Vargas tries, as Larry says, to mount the rally that might save him the fight. Body shot by Vargas. Left hook lands upstairs. Double uppercut. Wright comes back with a little right hook. Vargas keeps firing. Uppercut. Body shot. Busting Wright with power punches in the middle of the ring. Vargas seizing the momentum. Big burst of energy to finish the 10th round for the champion, Fernando Vargas.
No necesitas que todo lo... Venga el agua. 2 more rounds like that, Fernando. You hear? 2 more rounds like that. Go back down to the body. Sí, ocúpalo, cabrón.
That's it. That was a good round. You don't have to fight this hard every round, but this was a good round.
No responde, no responde.
He's not responding to you, so...
Nomás cuando dejes de tirar, mueve las...
Box, all right? Get in a nice rhythm. All right? Come on, get your rhythm. You're strong.
Yeah.
Come on.
Every round,
Yeah.
Look beautiful.
Come on.
There's Ike Bazooka Cuarte, Ghanaian star, looking to move up from 147 to 154 and perhaps to fight Fernando Vargas this coming spring. Requires that Vargas pull out a victory here. Did you see the CompuBox number? 99 punches by Vargas in the 10th round, landing 34 of 84 power shots. That's a brilliant rally. He might need 2 more rounds just like it.
Hold it.
Starting to come back with an energy rally of his own in round 11. Vargas tries to stop it right here. Wright surely aware that he was outpunched in the 10th. Vargas trying to load up one big right hand, misses badly with it. Fernando's such an accurate puncher, you don't often see him miss wildly. But he's got a little bit of desperation going here.
When you get to this stage of the fight, it's not about boxing. It's about conditioning. It's about will.
It's about fighting.
It's about fighting.
Watch your feet.
And what a fight by Winky Wright. Win or lose, he's made a name for himself tonight. Great right hand flush by Wright. Wright slowing down the Vargas rally, going back to his jab, boxing and moving a little bit. Something we expected to see a lot more of. He seized the initiative early by coming out and trading unexpectedly with Vargas. It served him well through most of the fight. Wright up on his feet and moving in the 11th. Vargas not getting the chance here to throw 99 punches as he did in the 10th.
Vargas is doing, Wright is doing more movement here, fighting more as we expected to see him early, making Vargas come after him.
Hold it. Let's go, come on, guys, come on.
Smart tactics at this stage of the fight.
The other 154-pound champions are Jorge Castillejo of Spain and Olympic gold medalist David Reed. Reed attempting to put together a title defense against Felix Trinidad this coming spring, but that is contractually challenged right now. Vargas tired and slowed down a little bit in the 11th.
You gotta close fast. You gotta put pressure on him. You gotta throw the combinations. You gotta throw everything in this round.
You have to win this round, Fernando. You can't stand and look at him. You have to hit him. You have to punch him. Hey, watch your low blows, Joe.
But you got to punch, but be careful, okay?
On a clean round, guys.
Bust him. Be first. And when he's backing up, Wink, attack him with that jab because he can't get set.
We need this round, and we need it to be a clear round with the combinations. He won't touch you if you throw the combinations.
Good jab. Be first. Move back in the range, okay?
Last round, touch him up.
CompuBox numbers in the 11th fairly equal. Vargas 22 out of 53, Wright 16 out of 54. Harold, how do you have it scored coming to the last round?
Jim, 106, 103, Winky Wright. I thought he pulled out the 11th, but the big rounds for Winky is 6, 7, 8, 9 when he clearly outpunched Fernando Vargas. He just will not let Fernando Vargas square up in front of him. He keeps moving away. Vargas trying to get right in front of him. Can't do it.
So at least on Harold Letterman's card, Fernando Vargas needs another knockout, his 18th in 18 professional fights, to hold on to his title. And you heard Vargas's instructions: throw combinations, unload everything you've got in this round. Because he is from Southern California and Mexican American, Vargas is constantly compared to Oscar De La Hoya. This is the kind of situation in which on 2 or 3 occasions we have seen De La Hoya close the show authoritatively and pull out the fight. Can Vargas do the same in an equally dramatic 12th round?
This is a much closer fight, even in those fights, I believe. And this 12th round probably will decide who wins the fight.
Vargas slips on a wet spot and goes down, even while landing a 3-punch combination against Winky Wright.
So
they touch gloves. Minute and a half to go. A tiring Vargas misses with the left hook. Wright stands in and fires his jab again. Vargas trying to bust through with combinations. High drama in Lincoln City, Oregon. Unexpected pressure for the 154-pound superstar Fernando Vargas. Vargas throwing and landing more than Wright now. 1 minute to go. Good combo by Wright. Vargas momentarily unable to find him.
Hold the head. Let's go, hold the head down, let's go.
Hard right cross, and another one. Doubling up on the right cross is Vargas, trying to make a final statement. This one's going to be in the hands of the judges, barring a miracle knockout here. So who do they like? The titleist, Fernando Vargas, who threw the harder punches, or the challenger, Winky Wright, who unexpectedly dictated the flow of the fight?
Vargas has won this last round, I believe.
I think so too.
And it will all depend on a few close rounds early in the fight. Which way did they go?
For the first time in his professional career, Fernando Vargas is forced to go the distance. Did he also lose for the first time? We're about to find out. CompuBox numbers in round 12. Vargas landed 30 of 85. Winky Wright only threw 25 punches in the 12th round. Hard to imagine any judge giving the closing round to Wright. Harold, your final card.
Okay, Jim. 115, 113, 7 rounds, to 5, Ronald Winky Wright. Jim, it was a Philadelphia fight all the way. Winky Wright put more pressure on him. He took a right to Fernando unexpectedly. He outpunched him. Jim, he deserves this fight. I think the challenger now becomes the champion. Close fight, but Winky Wright just outworked him.
You know I won that fight.
The 3 official judges, Deborah Barnes of New Jersey, Dave Hess of Dubuque, Iowa, Jim Howard of Oregon. We've seen Barnes and Hess before. Howard, the Oregon judge, an unknown quantity to us. And the ultimate decision rests with those 3. You heard challenger Winky Wright's trainer Dan Birmingham tell him 3 rounds ago that he had already won the fight going away.
Yeah, these are questions.
I have to suspect it's closer than that.
Walk right through. Still, man.
Box now, baby. Can't base it.
That's right. That's right.
Vargas, alert enough to put in a pop for his hometown, despite the strenuous trial he's been put through here. Ike Quartey waiting nervously.
Ward.
Larry Merchant's scorecard was a draw.
Baby. You boxing beautifully. Beautifully. Can't take it from me.
And here's the final decision. Let's go to ring announcer Mark Barrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the 3 judges at ringside. Judge Dave Hess scores the bout 114, 114, a draw. Judge Jim Howard sees it 115, 113. And Judge Deborah Barnes scores it 116, 112 to the winner and IBF Junior Middleweight Champion of the World, ferocious Fernando Vargas.
So the judges go with Fernando Vargas, and in a tough majority decision, Vargas holds on to his title. Ike Quartey breathes a sigh of relief at ringside. We'll look at the final CompuBox punch-stat numbers. Vargas landing 37 more, throwing nearly 100 more punches, and most of the difference came in the 10th and 12th rounds, where Vargas threw 85 punches in the 12th, 99 punches in the 10th, rallying furiously down the stretch to secure victory in the fight. Power punches, surprisingly close. Although, as you can see here in the closing rounds, Vargas piled up a margin, landing 244 to only 131 for Wright. Wright much more active with the jab. Vargas has 623 power punch output. No doubt the ultimate force in winning him the fight on the judges' scorecards. And Larry Merchant stands by with the 154-pound champ.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Fernando. That was easy.
Not at all. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, Larry. There was a lot of personal problems that I had, which I care not to mention because I'm not the one that likes to say anything before the fight.
You mean aside from your legal problems?
No, yeah, aside to that, family problems that are going on in my life right now that a lot of people probably would break down. But, you know, I had to bite down and do what I had to do. I really felt slow in there because of the fact that I was thinking about some things at home that are going on.
Are you suggesting that you couldn't train as diligently as you would like because of those problems?
I'll be honest with you. You know, I had a lot of things on my mind. This personal problem happened when I was in camp, and, you know, it really distraught me a lot. And my manager, Shelly Finkel, really knows what's going on. But, you know, I had to do what I had to do. I can't postpone a fight. I'm not going to do that. I have to bite down and do what I got to do.
Were you surprised that he didn't come out and box you the way a southpaw is expected to?
You know, I give Winky Wright a lot of credit. You know, he did what he had to do, but, you know, he slept on a couple of rounds, and I was there to take it to him. But he's a very slick fighter, and, you know, I just like I told you, I think I would have been a lot sharper if things would have been going on with me.
Do you believe that ultimately the difference was the body punching?
I think body punches and that I wanted more. You know, I want to be great, and there's a lot of learning experiences that you have to go through. This is one of them.
Did you feel that your streak, your title, were in jeopardy going into the last rounds?
I knew it was close, but I didn't think it was in jeopardy. I knew it was close. I just had to pick it up and bite down and show what I am and what type of intestinal fortitude I got. You know, not every fight you're going to be 100%. A lot of fighters have had bad days. And, you know, I had a bad day, but, you know, I'm not going to cry about it.
Well, you're telling us there's a personal problem that distracted you. Would you care to say anything more about it?
No, I'm not going to say nothing more about it. It's too personal. But what can I do? You know,
do you still intend to fight Ike Corte in the spring?
No doubt. I mean, styles make fights, and Winky today he was a little slicker than I was, but at the end of the day, I showed that I have that intestinal fortitude to pull ahead, and even on a not so good day, I pulled through and I showed what Fernando Vargas is about.
Thank you very much, champ. And now Winky Wright, a mandatory challenger who showed that he had earned that and gave us a terrific fight. Congratulations to you in your first big television fight for making such a good fight of it. Obviously, you thought you won.
Yeah, I won that fight. I dominated the fight. I was coming forward, blocking his punches, catching them clean shots. You know what I'm saying? He throwing a lot of punches, but I'm blocking them. And I threw more punches. I dominated that fight, and I came.
Now, Winky, your face tells us that some of those punches got through.
Of course. You know, this boxing, you're going to get hit. But I showed the fans, everybody thought I was a runner. I box and move. You know, I can box, move, come forward. And I beat him in his fight. I came forward. I could have eaten.
Why did you elect that tactic to come forward and fight him rather than making him miss and hit?
Because I knew everybody would. If I boxed him, they was gonna say, "Oh, you ran," and just like they try to say with De La Hoya and Trinidad. But I beat him.
Were you afraid that you couldn't get a decision if you boxed him? Is that what you're saying?
I knew. If I boxed and moved, I knew they weren't gonna give me a decision. They were gonna say he was running. So I said, I'm gonna dominate the fight. I'm gonna come forward. You know, he hit me and I hit him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't hurt me at all, and I hurt him a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? I know I won this fight.
Winky, you waited a long time for this kind of a shot. You gave a terrific performance. Do you get any satisfaction, even though you're obviously unhappy with the decision, that you fought as well as you did?
Oh yeah, I'm upset that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't get a decision. And I already knew that, you know, if I didn't knock him down or knock him out, that I probably wouldn't get a decision. But I wanted to show the world that I'm a great fighter. And you know, you can't, y'all try to say he pound for pound one of the best fighters. I'm supposed to be pound for pound one of the best. I beat him easily. You know what I'm saying? He fought a good fight, but I still thought I beat him.
You beat him. Thank you very much, Winky.
Everybody in St. Pete.
All right, just as final word, coming down from Portland to Lincoln City earlier this week on a thruway, a couple of cars crashed in front of me. I saw my life blinking before my eyes. The cars were caromming all over the road, into each other, off walls. Fortunately, the driver was able to slalom his way through there. I thought for a moment that I was in some kind of a movie stunt. Well, I thought I had enough action for the week. Tonight we saw the human version of that near accident for me. And it was a special event to see. Congratulations to both.